From retro to next gen, we've got it all. I'm George, a Gen X grown-up, and this is Bit by Bit. All right, here's an interesting article from the MIT Press Reader. Now, this is by MIT, the illustrious university. This is a very long and well-researched and in-depth article. It's probably a good 10, maybe 15-minute read. I'm not going to go into everything, but it's essentially centered around how third-party gaming, game development, I guess you would say, for other people's consoles really came from a couple of lawsuits in the mid-'80s and how it's still a thing today and why. It goes on about a couple of in particular lawsuits. There's a great quote right here, by the way. Nintendo's lawyers more than Mario made Nintendo, and Atari's lawyers more than E.T. sealed its downfall. I'm not going to go into the specifics, like I said, because I want you to read this article for yourself. I'll have the link down in the description. But man, there was a lot of very interesting stuff going on when it came to these lawsuits back then. Atari and Tengen and Nintendo, and I think Sega was even involved because there was a couple of different lawsuits going on. One that somebody beat Nintendo in, and then of course the one that Atari lost to Nintendo. It goes full circle at the very beginning of the article, talking about how Tengen today released its first game in July of 2024, which is kind of a homebrew game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, even though that's kind of what got the lawsuit going in the first place. Anyway, check out the link in the description. Absolutely take the time to go read this article because it is a very fun look at gaming's past. All right, here's a bit from Down Under, pressstart.com/AU or .au, not /AU. They are announcing that EB Games is soon going to be rolling out retro game consoles both online and in select stores for purchase. Now, this threw me for a loop when I first saw this. I'm like, EB Games? I thought they were gone. And then I realized, oh, they're talking about EB Games in Australia. I believe EB Games was bought by GameStop, and at least here in the United States, most of those stores were converted or just closed outright. Either the GameStops or just closed, like I said. But apparently, right here at the end of the month in April, today as I'm recording this, as a matter of fact, we're going to start seeing these for sale to our Australian cousins. Now, we have several fans here at Gen X Grown Up that live in Australia, and I know they often talk about and complain about how difficult it is to come across retro stuff in Australia, how expensive it is. I don't know if this is going to help with the expense of it, but at least more things will become available to them as this rollout happens, and they've got a list of things to expect. Now, there's no Atari stuff on this list, but you do have Nintendo represented really well with the NES, the Super NES, 64 GameCube. You've got some PlayStation stuff. You've got some Sega stuff, including my all-time Sega favorite, the Dreamcast. I really think this is a good thing overall for the people from down under in Australia. I hope that they find some good deals, and if you've got something that you want to trade and you're in Australia, you might be able to get a couple of bucks in trade for it. All right, here's another controversial 10 best list from slashgear.com. This time it's about the best Easter eggs found in video games. Now, that's a bold category depending upon the time frame or if you're talking about everything. So let's go through here. Mario Portraits in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Okay, well, this has got a lot of modern stuff in it then. Okay, I'll say that's a cute Easter egg. Let's see how difficult it is to find. Doesn't look like it's terribly difficult to find. So again, you know, back in the day, Easter eggs were very difficult to find. You didn't know about them. Took a lot of research. There wasn't an internet. But okay, let's keep moving on. Scarab Gun in Halo 2. Okay, all right. Zombie-filled Mario Brothers level in Dying Light. All right, 2015 survival horror game. Yeah, I remember that game. I might have to... Oh, wait a minute. Mortal Kombat. Reptile's first appearance in Mortal Kombat. Okay, so he was in the original Mortal Kombat, but he, of course, we know he didn't become playable until Kombat 2. He was just green coloring off of the Sub-Zero blue coloring, and yellow Scorpion, we all know that. Is that an Easter egg or just like a teaser appearance? I don't know. Last of Us newspaper teaser in Uncharted 3. Okay, so they're calling this one a teaser, but that is very cool reference. Uncharted 3 developed before Last of Us was coming out. That's really good. We know Last of Us is super popular with the TV series just recently coming out. Jar Jar Binks frozen in carbonite in The Force Unleashed. Okay, cute. Classic Atari games in Call of Duty. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, apparently, I guess you can play some of these games. Pitfall 2 Lost Caverns, Hero, Kaboom, River Raid. Then you got some more in some other game. Okay. Minecraft Creepers, Borderlands 2, Alien Abduction, Hitman 3, Secret Cow Level in Diablo 2. All right. So, pretty fun. This is one of those articles, by the way, that's just like an infinite scroll of other things. So, I was really only interested in the Easter eggs found in video games part, but it's probably worth a quick little read if any of those things are of interest to you. All right, here's a partnership bit from our friends over at GamePress.com. Just a quick little announcement that Plaion is partnering with Blaze Entertainment to distribute some of their systems in territories outside of North America and the US. So this comes to us on April 29th, and they're going to be distributing these new systems, or helping Blaze to distribute these systems, in places like the United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, France, Portugal, Italy, Australia, New Zealand. This is awesome. Basically everywhere except for America or North America, they're going to be helping this company Blaze, who does the Evercade systems, get their hardware out there into the world. And anytime we get retro hardware out into the world, I'm a big fan. So just take a quick moment to read this press release. It's not much more than just the announcement of the deal, but at least this will help get great retro systems into other people's hands that might not have the opportunity to get a hold of them. Here's a deep dive bit from our friends over at editorialage.com. They want to go into why pixel art games are still thriving currently in 2025. Now, this article is a long, in-depth read. I would say it's probably 15, maybe 20 minutes, but it is well worth it to explore why pixel art games are so popular even still today. They go into some things about the practical advantages, like lower development costs, faster performance, the fact that pixel art games can be done by independent studios and developers themselves without having to go to a big company for all the big assets and big systems and big teams and everything else. So you can get games out there that are a little bit more personal. They talk about esports and pixel art's popularity. I would not have thought about esports in that realm, but I guess it's there. Less lag, more action, obviously. Streamer-friendly aesthetics. They talk about innovations in pixel art design. This article is incredibly well-researched, well thought out. I guess that's what Editorialage does with their articles. They give you some takeaways at the end and some FAQs down at the bottom. I would highly suggest clicking the link in the description down below and going and reading this article. Take your time with it. It's by Donnie Stoltenberg. Donnie did a great job with this article. I'm certainly going to take my time with it, and it's well worth it if you want to explore. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.